Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with another one of our talk shows from the Verse. We have the From the Verse on Thursdays at 8:30, but that might change, and that's going to be one of the topics of tonight's discussions. That eight, Thursdays at 8:30 is not really working out for me because of my work schedule, and so we're going to talk about that a little bit. I was trying to make it work. Let's go ahead and get rid of this and get back to the all right, we're just going to show the one seat. How do you like that? One seat show. Well, let's probably get it on. We can put it on the From the Verse cockpit. Okay, for one thing, the studio is not set up. My webcam is not set. My green screen is not set. My lighting is not set up. Because normally what I do is I have time before the show to set that up, and then when I have it set up, we just start the show. It only takes me like 15 to 20 minutes to get all my co-hosts logged in and displayed, like Parasite or Marius. But tonight they're absent. It's just going to be me. If I can't. I think it deleted it. I used to have a stick figure that I put on the screen in case of emergencies, but no. Yeah, Parasite and Marius are not able to log in at this hour. Which let me tell you, we've gone through a number of schedule changes from the Verse, and that was due to the request of some of the other co-hosts. I had a co-host that wanted to have it on Thursdays only. That was he could only play. He could only log in and discuss Star Citizen on Thursdays. That was his limiting days. But Thursday was not a good day for anyone. So what we started with was something like I think it was a Saturday. We were doing the Star Citizen from the Verse on Saturday, and then what we found out happening was that we're also partners with another unit in MechWarrior Online. We are teamed up with the Davian Royal House Guards. A lot of the same members are in both units, and a lot of the founding members of the 1st Royal Aerospace Squadron were also in the Davian Royal House Guards. And so we started doing scrimmages on Saturday with the another unit in MechWarrior Online. So we moved it to Friday, and then and then the scrimmages started to be moved to Friday because that unit is also doing Star Citizen on Saturday. So we said, okay, no problem. We'll move our day from the Verse to, I think we moved it to a Tuesday. To be honest, I think we moved it to a Tuesday, and then some people said, "Oh, I can't make it to Tuesday because I have to take my wife to work, or it's just not a good day for school or something, right?" And so we said, "Well, let's go to Thursday." Okay, so my point is, we've moved from the Verse. I don't know. We've tried almost every day. We haven't tried Sunday. That might be a good day for us, actually. But I didn't want to compete with another couple of shows that's another thing. I didn't want to compete with another couple of shows that are online at the same time. And Sunday was one of those days. And from what is it? Around the Verse now has started, and they're on Thursdays also. But that's pre-recorded, and they're in the afternoon. It's not really a live show. Okay, so that's one thing. So what I'm going to present to everybody, and this is going up on YouTube also, and this is actually number 15, from the Verse number 15, and ironically, it's called Changes. So it's from the Verse number 15, Changes, but the main topic was going to be changes in Star Citizen, but it can apply also to our From the Verse show. So if you are a subscriber or a watcher of From the Verse, and if Thursday is not a good day for you, please let us know. Drop us a comment in From the Verse 15 when it finally loads. Go into YouTube, find it, and then put a comment on the YouTube video of what day you would like us to have our From the Verse show on, because yeah, this Thursday I think is not working out for anybody. It was originally going to work out great for a couple of people, and then things changed. So what I've decided is, and this is kind of this is being me being selfish, I've decided not to worry about our hosts. We can work around this, I hope. uh, what's best for our audience, to get the highest ratings, the highest number of observers watching the show. So if you want us to have a show on Friday, let us know. If you want us to have a show on Sunday, let us know. If you want us to have a show on uh, middle of the week Wednesday, or whatever day is, you just let me know, and I will do my best to make that happen. Okay, it's not going to happen in the next week or two, because I'm going to give you guys all a chance to watch the video, and also put your comments in the video, and that would really help us decide when we're going to do the show. It What's ironic is, about once every 2 weeks, I have to work late on Thursday. I work till about 8 o'clock. So what I normally do is schedule the From the Verse at 8:30. So it gives me enough time to run home, turn the computer on, get everybody set up, and kind of. But that makes me rush. I'm rushing to do that. And like today, I did not have my studio set up, so I didn't have my lights. I don't have my green screen. I don't have my uh, camera. I don't have basically have anything set up. So um, that's not very professional, or it's not very well. Not that we're claiming to be professional at all, but it's just not considerate to our viewers for them to log in at 8:30 thinking the show's going to start, and we don't start till 8:45. You know what I'm saying? So to be considerate to you, if you pick another day of the week, one, and we'll do our best to like make a schedule and actually stick by it. And that's something that is frustrating me, and it's making me upset that I'm not able to put these out regularly so that you guys can watch. Okay, so now let me put something on the screen that you guys can actually enjoy watching while I do my discussion. Okay. Now this is basically just going to be me talking to you, telling you about my take on some of the changes in Star Citizen, and what's going on, and what's everything. Let me get off the screen. Okay, what do we got? Not there. How about here?
Maintenance, please report to public restrooms.
Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to let that play in the background. I'm going to turn the volume down because it's kind of distracting a little bit. And I want to talk about, man, that's still too loud, isn't it? I got headphones on, and it's just blaring in my ears like wham. I've got the volume turned way down, like one or two. Okay, so let's, and if you have any questions that you want to ask, this is a live stream. You are more than welcome to pop some questions up in the chat, and I'll do my best on answering those if you're not familiar with what's going on. Okay, so let's go ahead and Let me pull up my show notes so we can start talking about number 15 changes. Okay, so what has changed in Star Citizen in the last couple of weeks? Because this show hasn't been on for the last couple of weeks. Well, one of the things that's changed is the sounds of the in the cockpit. Well, I think that's I'm glad they added those because it does add a little element of realism and excitement in the game, and I think that's something that was um, was needed. You know, we needed to hear ourselves grunt and I think it's kind of cool that when the ship is hit and you do a you know your body kind of moves inside the cockpit, you can actually see the screen shake because your point of view has been moved, and you hear the pilots go oh you know or you know, and I think that's uh, I don't know, it's probably a little excessive, but it's still pretty cool. I like it a lot. I'm glad they've added it. What else has changed in really? Okay. There's something going on the video and not me is what's playing on the monitor. But okay. I hear noise in the background. Let me think of some other things that have changed. Man, I had a long list of it. I just can't find that list. Sorry, guys. Uh, well, we can talk about what came out uh, in the live stream. The live stream last Friday, they talked about uh, the well, first of all, the Persistent Universe trailer, they showed that. That was pretty cool, right? Um, they showed the Cutlass commercial, which is pretty cool. It had Sandy doing the motion capture for the female pilot. I thought that was pretty cool. They kind of showed the um, Vandal as being kind of a just a tool, you know, in the show. But that was okay because remember, it's a Vandal Cutlass. I mean, it's a Cutlass commercial, and they're not going to make the Vandal look powerful. They're going to make their Cutlass look powerful. Um, I personally didn't like the way the Persistent Universe transition autopilot flies down and lands. Um, I I like the fact that it does. I just didn't like the way it did it. It seemed it might be unique to that system, the Stanton Arc Core planet. It might because that Arc Core is like completely covered by buildings, looks a lot like Coruscant, you know. But even so, I would think that they would land in a more secure location or on the surface. But then I started to think about this. I had second thoughts about this. In that far in the future, maybe that is considered secure and safe because maybe the ships and the you know spacecraft are so advanced that it's nothing more than driving a car. You know, if that's the case, then my thought process is not right. So I had to step back and rethink it. Um, so yeah, if it's just a car being guided in and landed at any parking lot, then yeah, then it's awesome. But if a spacecraft is more, something more dangerous, you know, that could explode or you know anything like that, then maybe it needs to land on the surface and not in some you know I don't know. It's just something about it made me think that it just wasn't safe. You know, some other things that are going on in the universe. You know, they have the new system. They're talking about the Vanguard system. They're going to be talking about that in the future. I guess that was discovered from Christian Meyer's personal journal. You know, and then there was the letter from the chairman because we hit 2 million in 1 week pretty much since the last. I mean, it was like bam bam. We hit what 30. Shoot, I'll have to look. My mouse pointer's going all over the place. The next one. Nope, next one. Oh, yeah, it says we hit 57 and 58. That's pretty impressive. We're almost at 60. So that's extremely exciting. Watched a couple of videos about the Retaliator and the Gladius and the Gladiator, and I'm thinking that's really cool because I have a Retaliator and I'm waiting for that. Let me take a look at some of the other things that happened. Um, 890 jump. They're really showing off the 890 jump, which is a pretty cool. Um, there we go, which is pretty cool for the people that are very luxurious and they want to have like a passenger yacht. Thought that was pretty awesome. We can expect to see first-person shooter at the end of the month. These aren't necessarily changes; these are, but they are, because when they show us the first-person shooter stuff, that's going to be the first step to actually giving us the first-person shooter. So maybe we'll see the first-person shooter stuff in January or something. Also, we can fly all the racing ships, the M50, the up until tomorrow, I think, is the last day you can do it. You can fly the M50, the 350R. You can also fly any other ships that you don't have, any other fighters that you don't have in your hangar. So if you wanted to fly the Aurora, the 300i, or the Hornet, you could do that. And in the cutlasses, they showed that there are three types basically. There's the black, blue, and red. And the black is basically your standard cutlass that you've seen forever. But the blue is specifically designed for police duty or bounty hunting. And then the red is more of a hospital medical type ambulance. And if you have an organization, I think that the red would be more. Um, it depends on the type of organization, I guess. If you guys have a uh, if you have a more of a bounty hunter, anti-piracy type, not anti-piracy, but just anti-criminal type theme, then I guess the blue would serve you really well. But the in um, a military themed organization, I would think that the red would be more important because you're going to have uh, casualties and you want to be able to respawn them, especially like on boarding parties and stuff like that. Okay. PAX Australia is coming out at the end of the month, and when that happens, it's when you're going to see Ilphonic showing off the uh, first-person shooter, probably just a trailer and maybe an in-depth demo or something, and that will be really exciting. The What are some of the changes? Oh, okay. Let's talk about. And this, I'm noticing it right now on the screen, where we have the lead indicators. You have your like first weapon group and your second weapon group lead indicators. Um, that's one reason why I like to have weapons that have the same velocity, so that those lead indicators are one box and I don't have two boxes, because I'm shooting my chain guns at box two, and then when I want to switch to my lasers, I got to switch to one, which is kind of cool. It kind of artificially keeps me from overheating my stuff because I'm switching back and forth. But I would just prefer them to be one lead indicator that was more accurate. And also, those lead indicators are considered what do you call it? Just suggested areas to shoot. They're not hard fact solid things, because I've noticed that a ship can be flying by you and I've shot at the lead indicator and missed him. But when I shot in front of the lead indicator, like a fraction of an inch, or, a good, I don't know, an inch on the screen, uh, it hits him squarely and regularly. And then sometimes I'll shoot like all around it because I'm using a mouse. I can circle the lead indicator, just move my mouse around it, because sometimes the lead indicator is not going to give me the accurate hit location. Now, some things that might be causing that is, of course, he's going to be dodging. So that lead indicator only tells you where they would be if they continued on a course that they're on. But if they change course in the middle of you shooting, or if they're dodging or jinking, of course you're going to miss them. But most of these Vandal, they don't do that. They just fly straight. And so it's not like you're fighting a player. When you go to fight a player, it's a lot different because they're constantly jinking and jiving and tweaking left and right, and it's hard to get a beat on them suckers. Um, what else? What has this changed on the oh, the 6 degrees of freedom? I know that came out in a patch a little while back, but with my joystick, when I'm getting an X55 and I fly with the X55, um, the extra benefit of having the 6 degrees of freedom right there on my joystick is extremely good. I mean, I can land easier, I can fly and avoid collisions easier, I can dodge, I can. It's better for flying, okay. But my problem is that with the joystick, I can't hit a fly. I can't hit one of these guys because first of all, my guns are locked straight forward, and it's really hard to keep the nose of your crosshairs on one of those little yellow boxes. Those boxes are so small that I've given up on using the joystick. I've just gone completely mouse and keyboard until they get a time when now every now and then I'll jump into the joystick just to keep my skills up, but when I'm trying to actually kill the enemy or if I'm just trying to build up my leaderboard, then yeah, I'm going to use the mouse and keyboard. And that's goes into my next step. The leaderboards are out. And they did a reset on the leaderboards. And the reset was very minor. It went from version 9 to version 9.1. So when they go to 9.2, you can expect probably another reset of the leaderboard. I hope, because I want to see a reset on the leaderboard with every patch, pretty much, until the game comes out and it's kind of set in stone. Then, of course, let the leaderboards ride. But right now, with the game mechanics constantly changing and things like that, we don't need to have the
Oh, okay. That's
leaderboards.
what I thought you were talking to him about.
Okay, and I just interrupted myself. But no, the other than the leaderboard, the racetracks. Okay, this brings me into the racetracks with the Murray Cup Racing. They are okay. I love racing. I raced a few times on Twitch or whatever. I live streamed a few races with some of my squadron mates. But there is there's work that needs to be done on the racing, and I think they know that. There's too many shortcuts through buildings. Now, I don't mind shortcuts like over a building or through a courtyard or something like that you can exploit to get a shortcut to your next waypoint or whatever. That I'm okay with. But when the shortcut actually takes a ship and flies it straight through a building that basically has no collision, you're actually it's like a hologram of a building and you fly straight through it. To me, that's that's a that's busted. That building needs to be solid, and when people try to fly through it, they need a wreck. Now, if they're flying between buildings or you know scraping through a couple of buildings, okay, I'm okay with that. I think it's a little I think it's a little gamey, but it's also cool. I mean, it's they can exploit what they want to exploit. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, the racing's pretty cool. I think that it just needs a little bit of work, and I think that'll come with the ability to control your ships a little bit better. Okay, when it comes to the thrust and the what do they call it? The thrusters and the boost, I think they've gone the wrong way with it. I like the fact that you can boost your thrusters, and that'll let you turn faster, right? Because you can it'll make them perform better. So like when you're because there's no wind, there's no wings. So when you're turning, you're actually only using the thrusters, changing the orientation of your craft. And if you want to boost your thrusters and have it change the orientation, I'm okay with that, right? But why would you ever need to boost them? I mean, why don't they just always perform well? And another thing on the unless you're overtaxing them, then there's a chance that you'll burn them out. Okay, then I'm okay with that. But right now, no, it's kind of like fuel. You're burning up a certain amount of fuel and then you run out. Okay, if if that's the case, then why does the Hornet? I'm going to use the Hornet and I'm going to go to extremes. How about the M50? Why does the Hornet fly slower than the M50? Okay, if I was to think about this, you're all saying, well, the M50's got a bigger engine. And I'm telling you, so what? Because in space, everything should fly at the same speed. If now I understand the M50 would get there faster and it would speed up faster and get to whatever artificial top limit the the Galactic Safety Commission decides that we're going to be able to fly at before it'll be detrimental to a human body. So let's say they let the M50 fly at 300 kph or whatever it is, meters per second. Let's say the M50 can fly at 300, and they're saying that's as fast as the ship should be able to fly. Why can't the Hornet slowly, eventually, also get to 300? Okay, so what if its engines are smaller, or it's heavier? Maybe not smaller, but the ship is heavier, so it wouldn't be able to get to 300. But I mean, it should be able to get to 300, just not very fast. Uh, Everything in because what are you limiting the speed for in the first place? My understanding is the theory is that they're limiting the speed because of the damage that it will cause to a human being. Otherwise, ships would be flying at like super duper fast, and they want you to be able to dogfight. So they want you to be able to turn and not have the human inside the cockpit just die because of the G forces. Okay, so they're setting an artificial limit that the computer on the craft is saying you can't go faster than this because it's going to hurt you. Okay, well, if that's the case, why can't the Hornet go as fast as the M50? That's doesn't make sense to me. I understand the M50 could probably turn a lot faster because it's lighter and has the thrusters to turn it, and the Hornet might turn a little slower because it's lumbering and heavily armored and stuff like that. Lots of weapons. Sure, I understand that. And once the Hornet gets up to that speed, like 300, it would be extremely hard for its thrusters to slow it down. So you'd have to do like a Comstab turret, you turn all the way around and use your main thrusters, main engines to slow you down. But, and it would be slower than the M50. Sure, I can go with that. But the top speeds shouldn't be limited by the ship. Yeah, that just doesn't ring true with me. All right. So another thing we talked about the little crosshairs and the speed and the thrusters and the boost. Um, I'm trying to think of something else that's changed with the Arena Commander other than the missiles. Yeah, I can't think of anything. Okay, so we'll move on to something else. What else changed? Now, I don't know if you guys are subscribers or not, but like just recently they released the Galactic Guide to the Baker System. Well, I can tell you that I've already had the information for the Baker System months and months ago because I'm a subscriber and I get the whatever you call that thing, jump point, where you get um, knowledge in advance. And so I've noticed that the information they put in the jump point eventually does make it to the regular subscribers. Maybe not all the pictures and maybe not all of the like stories, the stories, but important stuff, or I shouldn't really necessarily say important stuff, but major stuff I should say, like the Baker system, it'll eventually come out. Any system that they've already put information out in the jump point will eventually go onto the website. Uh,
Zero hostile contacts remaining. Warning, there are multiple hostiles inbound.
I'm still looking here. Um, really hasn't been that many changes actually. Version 9.1 came out, and yeah, the comm stab refinement, the leaderboard was pretty much the only thing that happened in 9.1.1. They haven't really changed any of the aliens. They haven't really changed any of the anything. They've asked for like suggestions on the like what type of government departments would you like to see in Star Citizen in the Empire. A lot of people have made suggestions on that. They made they, the Redeemer. No, not the Redeemer. The Reclaimer. That's been released. That's a really awesome ship in the fact that um, you would kind of expect a ship like that and in the universe. And it reminds me, I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me of the Nostromo from Aliens, where you, not Aliens, but Alien, where you have the Ripley and her merchant crew that are normally carrying a bunch of cargo. They go down to the planet, get it, and then bring back an alien. That ship looks a lot like that, and then it doesn't have much of a different mission either. It has kind of a salvage, cargo-ish type type mission. So it kind of is spooky to me. It's spooky because of the alien movies, but that's okay. The the ability for it to grab up derelict ships or just raw materials from asteroids or planets or wherever and put it into its refinery cargo hold that has like a refinery system inside there, and it can refine the metals and refine the rocks, and then you can actually put those into ingots or bars or whatever it's putting it into, and then take those to a planet and sell them is pretty cool. Um, and apparently it can stuff a whole constellation in its cargo hold. So to me, that's that that the ship's like 10 times the size of a cargo of a constellation, which is in by itself is pretty cool. But I don't know about $600 for a ship in game. I know that like the Idris and those were like $1,500 and stuff like that. I'm not paying that kind of money for a ship in Star Citizen. I mean the 275 was like pulling teeth anyway for Retaliator, but yeah. I really think they should try to keep the ship prices to like $100, $200, and then make the bigger ones. Okay, it's cool that it's a bigger ship and they wanted to uh, make their money from it. Apparently, a lot of people spent that money for it, so they might know better than us. You know what I'm saying? You can't fault them for trying to make money, and I don't blame them for that because as long as they're making money, then I'm going to be able to play this game. Mm, yeah, I'm looking way back, not seeing anything for uh, not seeing anything special that hasn't been like 2 months or yeah, like a month old. So I'm not really even going to talk about any of that stuff.
Stand by for reintegration.
Excuse me. yeah, once we get a better day and night for our show, then we'll actually be able to get our hosts back on the line and have an actual discussion. Uh, I noticed that none of you had dropped any questions into the chat, so I think this is probably where I'm going to leave it. I just want to remind you guys that we're looking for a different day or a different night, and so please go on to the YouTube channel and look for the show when it does get posted, and put a day on there that you would prefer us to have the live stream, because this is too late for me, and it's not on a good day because I get home so late sometimes on a Thursday night. So all right, that's where we're going to leave it, and thanks for coming out and checking out this episode of From the Verse. I know it's not what you're normally used to. Just bear with us. The next time we have one, it'll be a lot better. And see you in the verse.